Alright, I'm building another Commodore, another VL Commodore. This is probably my 6th one I've owned, and because I enjoy making videos, I thought I may as well start recording the journey of it, right? So, picked this one up, tubbed, 20x10s, 4-link, Berliner. It did have a RB30 turbo in it. Now, I wasn't meant to buy this car. I was only meant to buy the running gear for my wife's VL that I was building. Ended up that my mate needed the car gone, so at the time I had my silver VL. I thought, fuck, I can't have 3 VLs. So I ended up buying this for the running gear that I put into that. That's now complete. But now I'm left with this car. Car's rough, bodywork, needs bodywork, but a lot of the stuff is done. It sits fucking awesome. As you can see. Yeah, so it sits good. I ended up getting this car. I had no running gear. I sold my other car. The other car was a LS, just a tough streeter turbo 400. At the time I was looking for a engine for this. I was going around to some shops getting some quotes for tough NA setups. Cousin calls me up and says, look, I'm with one of my mates. He's got a VL Commodore. It's got a built LS in it, 1900 Harrop, pretty much a LSA setup, very similar. Went out there, sussed it out, was happy with it, made an offer, and yeah, now I've got it. All right, this is the motor. It's a built LS, forged bottom end, 4-speed heads, firing head gaskets, all the goods with the 1900 Harrop. Motor made about 650 at the treads, so it'll boogie. Yeah, it came with the 4-core alloy radiator, it came with the heat exchange, came with everything that needs to be put into the car. I also needed a gearbox. Now, I've known this fella Les, he's got a Tirana. Now, I've known him for about 15, or of him, I've known of him for about 15 years. I had him on Facebook back in the day when I first had my first VL. He also had a Calais back then. Anyway, stayed friends, you know, on Facebook, saw the cars over the years that he's built. Just happened to be my luck. As I was looking for a gearbox, literally I was searching for the first time, Turbo 400s. He had just put up his Turbo 400 that was in his Tirana. Now, I know this car had barely been driven. Beautiful car. He had a Turbo 400 that he pulled out. He wanted to go manual, put it up for sale. Within 5 minutes, I said, hey bro, I'll take it. It's built for 1,000 horsepower. Came with everything, shifter and all that. The only thing it didn't come with is a converter, but we've got the gearbox. I did get a new Dominator store converter from Craig's Automatics. I picked that up, 3,500 staley. So originally I was meant to get this car painted at the start of the year. Painter fucked me around, I'm not gonna name who it is. I ended up getting out to meet the boys at Mercedes Bodyworks, Luke and Josh. Absolute gentlemen that gave me the time of the day. Luke came out, had a look at the car, quoted me, was happy with the quote. We're gonna take it back to bare metal, start from scratch, just make it an absolute immac show looking car. But he can't go till October, so I thought rather than the car sitting here, we've got a few events coming up, Power Cruise in Queensland, you got roll racing, things like that. I may as well get the car ready. I've got everything that I need. I'm just gonna throw it in and, you know, have a bit of fun with it till it's ready to come off the road. Because once this car gets painted, I am not gonna track it. It won't see any Power Cruise. Might go roll racing in it, have a bit of fun there, but no more Power Cruise. I want the body on this to be a Mac. It'll be a glass finish. I've seen some of the work the boys produce and looks really, really good. So we're gonna rip into this. We're gonna get the running gear in it this weekend. Motor, gearbox, tail shaft, all that bullshit, and try get this going and started very, very soon. So come along and we'll get that going. What are you doing here? Huh? Making a bit of room. Just tub this bastard. What do you reckon, Dad?
Good.
Good? Bit of Vegemite on that.
Have you smoothed all the end?
Alright, we moved the old girl, the old doser. Alright, Mad, we're on. Bit rough. But we don't care about the look, we just want to fucking... Alright, we're gonna get this in. Who gives a fuck what it looks like? We just want to bake tyres and have fun. Alright, front end's off. We're gonna rip the booster off because we want brakes and we're gonna do the VT upgrade. Yeah. I think it's called, yeah, VT upgrade. So I've got a new brake booster, we'll put that on because we do want to stop. And then we'll bolt the gearbox up to this and get it all in together. All right, Mad, new booster's in. Doesn't got to be fancy, the brake lines are all going to get redone, but I don't give a shit what it looks like now because we just want to party. You reckon go a litre?
Yeah, about right.
You don't want to run these dry. We've done that before, my old build, remember? It was dry. Some mechanic forgot to fucking fill it up. Whoops, silly me. What's the date? 25th.
Hey, do you guys use that foam roller thing?
Yeah. Alright. Box is bolted up, converter's in, we're going to whack it in all together. What sounds it going to make? Alright, we're on. Gearbox and motor are in. I'm actually pretty happy because you can see that's going to sit out of the bonnet. So I'm going to do a little tiny cut to go pretty much in line with that blower once it's all painted, and that'll just sit out really nice and neat. I'm going to get all this painted. The whole block's going to get stripped down. I'm going to paint it all. I'm going to paint the blower, relocate everything, shave the whole base. So once that's done, it'll look good. Right now, I don't give a fuck what it looks like because I'm just going to punish its mum, but I'm happy with that. I'm actually keen to just pump this. The last time I went to Power Cruise was 2017. And a lot of people know the video, the flywheel exploded on me doing a third gear clutch dump on a corner. Yeah, I've still got PTSD from the last time when that flywheel exploded on me. But this will be fun, this will be different. We'll have some fun with it.
In 2 bolts.
If you've done LS conversions, you know that these headers are a pain to get in, the passenger side. Driver side's not too bad because they're 2-piece. But I'm actually curious how everyone does this. There's a few ways to do it. I'm actually curious to know how everyone does it because they're a pain in the ass. And when this thing's painted, I don't want to fuck the body. Alright, motor is in. We've got the motor gearbox in. That's all done. Brake booster's done. Headers are in. Now we are going to muck around with the fuel system. So we've got the surge tank out to the Holly pumps. So we're going to nut cert that all in and then run the lines and get that all sorted. Alright, we got the holes for the nut cert, and that is what we're doing here. I've never seen this done before, but Richard swears by it, so yeah.
This is an alternative to tech screws.
Tech screws, he reckons. So no tech screws, and it's a nut cert.
Yeah.
I've never seen this done before, but kidding.
Where everyone just tech screws them.
Yeah.
Tech screws just pull back out.
How good's that? You learn something new every day. Right, we're just nut certing the pump now. We're going to run a bit of intercooler silicone hose underneath just to stop vibration. Just maybe a little bit more of a precaution, but yeah, she's getting there. All right, good morning. It is the next day. We tapped out yesterday after mounting the fuel system. So we got a bit done yesterday, motor, gearbox, headers, fuel system, but we had to stop there because I've got to get some fuel lines and some fittings, some braided lines. So I'm heading out to Rocket Industries now. Also need converter bolts, need a couple of things. So we'll head out there, we'll get them, and then I'm going to get my tail shaft. Got a 2-piece tail shaft made up from propeller shafts. Should be rated for about 1,000 horsepower as well. So running around picking up a few bits and pieces and then back into it. Hopefully try and get this car started in the next couple of days, I reckon. If we can muck around with the wiring and the harness that we have there and all the relays for the fuel pumps, we should be good to go. All right, if you guys don't know, this is Johnny from JC Body Kits. Now, he does literally some amazing work. Johnny, tell him what you do. What kind of body kits?
Mainly early Commodore, bit of a starter there.
Look, Johnny does, you know, VN Group A body kits, walkie body kits, you know, your Brocs, this sort of stuff. He also does some tidy work. He's put this interior together for my cousin's car, and it's come up really, really good. This guy's anal. He's got an eye for it. This is Johnny's personal car. Oh, I love this colour, man. This is nice. So this car was actually LS converted before anyone did LS conversions. He actually made the engine mounts for this back in the day. What are we talking, Johnny? 2012, 2013? 2011. I was still in high school back then. I had no idea about this stuff, and this guy's there mucking around with these things. That looks awesome, man. So if you're building a walkie, if you're building a Group A, whatever it is, come see Johnny. I'm telling you, you won't regret it. The body kits that this guy does are spot on A1. All right, we're back from Rocket Industries and grabbing the tail shaft. So we've got some -6 braided line for the rest of the fuel system. We've got the drop tank for the shifter. I did get some new header bolts, exhaust headers, just because I wasn't too happy with the ones I had. Torque converter bolt. Mounts. Now I did get the soft rubber ones because I don't want any vibration. I've had the hard ones before and they're shit. And then the tail shaft. So yeah, we've got all that. Now it's just finishing the rest of the puzzle, putting everything together and going from there. So let's rip in. All right, so the next videos are of Richard taking the GoPro. I had my wedding anniversary, so I stayed in the city. Richard got in with finishing up some of the fuel system, as well as grinding out the floor for the drop box for the Turbo 400, the shifter, the ratchet shifter. I handed over the GoPro to him just so I can keep you guys in the loop of what is getting done. So yeah, have a look at that. This guy knows his shit, man. You know, blessed to have a mate like that, and especially a neighbor, right? We live right next door to each other. It's awesome being able to work on cars with someone that actually has a clue, and I've learned a lot over the years of knowing Richard. Have a look at that.
Hey guys, so we're back on Mickey's VL today, trying to sort out the rest of this fuel system. So you can see we've got the surge tank, filter and twin pumps on here. This system was originally set up in another car to suit this engine, but there's not a lot of room on this car to work with. So we'll have a look underneath. Tubbed coilovers, 4-link, big 20x10s, and you can see up here there's not a lot of room for wiring or fuel lines, etc. It's pretty messy at the moment, but if any of you know RB30 VLs, you know that these come with an internal lift pump, then they usually run an external pump before the filter. So this system requires the internal pump, which we're using the stock fuel tank for, and then go into a small external pump as a lift pump to then go up into the surge tank and then be pushed up to the engine with the twin Holly pumps. So just trying to work out where we can put this extra pump under the car. As you can see, there's not much places to put anything, but we're thinking putting the pump up into this area and then feeding it up through the floor to the surge tank. The fuel system's fully done, utilising bulkhead fittings to go through the floor. It's all nice and tidy, and put both fuel filters inside the car so it's easily accessible. Being running on E85, you're going to want to change them pretty regularly. There's your main feed up to the engine. A little bit tidier now. We're just waiting on one fitting to run a return from the surge tank back to the main tank. There's your lift pump to go up to the surge tank, all nicely mounted away from the diff, can't be hit. And then there's our bulkhead fittings coming out of the floor. You get adequate room from the diff housing, so nothing can be hit. And then running up to the front of the car once we finish those lines. You can see here you got your factory shifter. We're wanting to put a drop box to suit Turbo 400. Keep it down below the console. Pretty much just drill out all your rivets. And then the factory shifter comes out like that. Obviously you want to, these don't just directly fit. So you want to try and line them up as best as you can. Get them as central as you can so you can cut them as neat and tidy. Obviously a little bit better without the interior in the car, but it is what it is. So we'll just get that lined up, mark it out. Probably use a jigsaw with a metal blade on it to cut it out nice and neat, and stop the interior getting sparks and burns through it, and then we'll come back to it. Alright, you can see there, we've cut the floor out using a jigsaw. Can't get it the neatest, but as long as it's nice and firm, you can see it's a nice tight fit. Get it in, but it sits nice and flush. nice and central. And you can either rivet these back in or you can nutsert them, it's just personal preference. Now we're ready to install a shifter.
Alright, we're back from the anniversary night and we're ripping back in. Now, as you've seen, done all the fuel setup, cut out the drop box for the shifter. We're going to probably rivet or nutsert that in now or do something and then mount the shifter, so we'll bring you along to have a look at that. Alright, so you're going to want to put your console back in once the drop box is in, just to get an idea on where your shifter is going to sit. What do you reckon? Alright, so you're going to want to muck this all up. So you want to get the drop box in, don't bolt anything up just yet. Put the drop box in, grab your shifter in, it's still all loose, and just sort of eye out where you're going to have to mount this inside the drop box. But I think we've got that bang on first go. Now the mad thing about this is when I got this set up off Les, I bought the gearbox, he gave me this. Originally these, if I'm not mistaken, are more to the left side. So you've usually got to cut a little slit in your actual plastic there, whereas he's taken that off, spun it around and re-welded it on, so now it sort of all sits directly in the center through that original cutout. Alright, we got that pretty bang on first go, so we're just going to go with it. We're going to mark out the shifter, bolt that in. Alright, this is what I was talking about, this little lever here for the reverse lockout and all that. You can see that he's welded that on. That usually sits, I think, more to...
It's usually riveted on here.
Yeah, it's usually riveted on the other side.
So it sits offset to the main shifter.
That's it, yeah, but as you can see now, he's got that dead bang on in the middle. Alright, we've got our holes there, so we'll just drill them out now. What do you think, a nutsert it or rivet it in? Just rivet?
Yeah, I'd nutsert
yeah,
that and
nutsert.
then rivet this to the main body.
Yeah, beautiful.
Keeps it neater.
Done, let's go. What are you into that? Big 2650 Harrow blower upgrade, hey? Alright, bang on. All the holes line up. And then you've also got your cutout for your cable, hey?
Shifter cable.
Shifter cable. So, yeah, mad. We'll nutsert that in now and get it in the car. Alright, now I've got this Mega Fastener bolt kit. I bought it for my wife's car when I was building it from Holdcom. Now I know, hey, what they did is fucking awesome, but you can see the car's finished and I only used a fraction of the bolts. But now we're trying to rate it because we need M6 bolts to bolt up the shifter. So you're going through the old bolt drawer and whatever you've got to try find it. Hey, what do you reckon?
Yes.
Alright, we had to come to Bunnings. Now Bunnings have got an automotive section now. If you didn't know, you got all your oils, all your automotive stuff. So we're going to get a battery and some battery cables. I think we're going to relocate the battery to the boot possibly. So we'll do that, we'll grab them, and we had to come here for some bolts, some M8 bolts and nuts. So we got the, just a bolt kit. You want to grab some VS? Alright, the drop box has got the nutserts in. These things are awesome, man, honestly.
You don't have to worry about nuts coming loose when you're driving the car.
Yeah, that's
the shifter gets loose.
Alright, now to put the... Where's the shifter? Fuck, this place is messy, eh?
Yeah, big top. Shifter's there, bro.
Shifter's there, so now to mount that up. Alright, mate, shifter's all set up. Bolted in. Sick. So now we'll put the console over, make sure that that all comes through, and then we'll rivet this down and good to go.
A little bit more trimming to do still.
Yeah, a bit more.
Good to see Mickey actually doing some work on his car for once.
Alright, mate, that's all bolted in, riveted in. We've bolted the shifter in, that's not going anywhere. Now I just put the center console on and all the work in here is done. Now the rest of the work is out there and underneath the car. But they come up good, man. It's first time go and we got it. All right, that's about all we're going to do for this video. So we got motor, gearbox, headers, fuel system, shifter. That's all in. What have we got left? We've just got
Run fuel lines to the front.
Yep.
A few bulkhead fittings under the brake booster.
Yep, heat exchange, transcooler, radiator. Yeah, just all plumbing up shit really.
Yeah.
And then
wiring.
run the wiring. So I'll probably make an episode on all of that afterwards for the next one. And yeah, we'll go from there. But otherwise, I'm pretty happy with all that we've done. Sweet. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
All right, man. We're good to go. Hope you've enjoyed the first video. Catches.